Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to get started on one of our bigger topics here in 7th grade world history, which is the study of genocide, the stories of great tragedy and perseverance. First, I want everybody to take a look at this political cartoon. This cartoon was created in about 2005, and I want you in your notebooks to take a look at it and to describe what is the purpose the artist is trying to portray. Try to kind of summarize what is being talked about, as each tombstone is representing a major act of genocide that has taken place in the 20th century world and now in our coming up into our 21st century. So take a moment to look at all of the different pieces and come up with a reason why this person created this artwork. This is a map that is estimated, that was again created in 2006. You can see from National Geographic, so we know that it is a credible resource. An estimated genocides from 1900 to 2005, and you can see it is coded with the small little red circles as representation of small numbers of individuals that were killed in that particular country, versus the much larger red circles, and those are indicating, very big numbers during the time of the genocide. So you can see Germany is on there with the Holocaust of over 11,400,000 people. Yeah, Bosnia and Herzegovina at 225,000. Surprisingly, not a lot of people know about the Soviet Union, well over 20 million, which we'll talk about in the 1930s during the time of the Stalin and his purges. We take a look at China with their 30 million, and that will be when we get into the studies of Mao and his Great Leap Forward. And we have one that we will be studying in extent, very tiny country right here in Central Africa, and that is Rwanda. And we'll be talking about Rwanda and the genocide that took place in there from April to July of 1994. So I'm going to take a look at this map and see if all of the different countries, all the different continents, and kind of figure out, where are majority of the genocide taking place as of 2006. Then I have a class question for you: is why is the killing of a million a lesser crime than the killing of an individual? And this question, and this quote, was actually created by Raphael Lemkin. He was a Polish Jew lawyer, and his number one goal in life after the Holocaust was to make sure that the United Nations came up with a specific definition and an official crime known as genocide. So he posed this question to a lot of his colleagues and to the world: is why is the killing of a million people a lesser crime than the killing of an individual? So I want you to think about that here for a moment. As we move on, this is how would you define genocide? And then I say in your journal here is define what you think genocide is. So if you take a look at again, another political cartoon, the picture on the right-hand side, you can see three characters. Character one is saying genocide, genocide. And he is a representation of the United States, because we can see the U.S. suitcase being used right here. We have a person from the EU. This is the European Union. He says this is a difficult question to answer. And then we have the third character, which is the United Nations. And again, they're just not sure how are we going to actually define this criminal act. And you can see within the picture here, it's a representation of Darfur, which is the genocide that started in 2003 in now it is known as South Sudan. So in your journals, I want you to kind of figure out, well, what is the definition of this word that we're going to be studying for the next couple of weeks? Genocide. Then we have the official United Nations definition. And this again was created in 1948. And we can see that they have come up with a definition. In the present convention, genocide means any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnical, racial, or religious groups. And that would be killing members of the group, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, to impose measures, and so on. Sorry about that. And then forcibly transferring children of the group to another group. Okay, so I want you to take a look at this, and with your partner, then I want you to look at this definition that the United Nations officially uses, and this has full force international law. So if a country is, or a group of people within a country are accused of genocidal acts, they would have to meet this definition. So did the United Nations include a proper definition, or do you think they missed some things that are important if you were really going to make this a world crime? As we move on is then you'll have a writing prompt. This is called the Image Reflection on Genocide. The writing prompt is based on the images seen in the video and our class discussions on the term genocide. Why do you think these crimes against humanity go on? Why is it that we preach never again, but yet it keeps happening? And then I want you to reflect on the last statistic in the video on the number of people murdered and why.